We're continuing with our coverage here at the LBMA in Rome. I have a speaker with me now. His name is Vladimir Nedeljkovic. He's the head of investments for Absa Capital. Thank you so much for being with us on Kitco News.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So I know your presentation focused on South Africa's approach to investing in the precious metals. Tell us a little bit about how that might differ from a North American approach.
Well, in the South African market, we have about 50 billion rands in investment in ETFs, so it's about $5 billion US. Interesting thing about South African market is that about slightly more than half of that is the investment in commodity ETFs. So we have two large commodity ETFs, NewGold, which is the gold ETF, and the New Plat, which was only listed in April of this year. Now the New Plat has, since in the 4 months since its launch, became the largest platinum ETF globally, overtaking the US ETF. So both commodity ETFs are basically a success story in the South African context.
Well, Vladimir, your name is synonymous with really bringing the ETFs to the South African market. How do you think it's received there?
Well, obviously we've started with ETFs in Absa in 2002, and in 2004 we listed our first commodity ETF, NewGold. Obviously, at the moment we are the largest provider of ETFs. We run 15 ETFs across all the major asset classes, and I think we have a quite significant experience in that industry in South Africa.
Well, I guess the reason I asked that question is earlier this year we saw China launch 2 gold-backed ETPs to the marketplace, which didn't start off as strong as they had thought. There were obviously some challenges. Did you have a similar experience?
Depending on the product, I think the trick is when you bring the product, it has to be based on an idea. It has to be based on investor demand. So before we list a product in South Africa or anywhere else for that matter, we always do quite a lot of research and speak to the investors, and we tend to be quite ruthless in not bringing the products that we don't believe have a chance of succeeding.
Vladimir, before I let you go, we're at the LBMA here in Rome. You're a speaker. What do you think the sentiment is like in terms of precious metals overall?
I think people are positive. I think there is a sentiment that precious metals overall have a very positive story to tell over the next couple of years. I think we see some dynamic between the sentiments toward the mining companies versus the ETFs or the commodities themselves, but that is something to be expected.
Vladimir, thank you so much for your thoughts today.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great conference, and thank you for watching our coverage from the LBMA here in Rome. We'll have more for you on Kitco.com. In the meantime, you can email me at newsfeedback@kitco.com or follow me on Twitter @Nedeljkovic. Thanks for watching.